Another 3-day candle close, a daily candle close came in. And what can we understand from these? I mean, history is in front of you to learn from that. Yeah. First thing you have to note, 3-day MACD crossed to the downside. 3-day MACD crossed to the downside. And what happened in the price action? There was a fake bounce which showed you a bullish engulfing candle, and then the price dropped again. Yeah. And then again it went up to make people back into the bullish sentiment. Once everyone went on bullish, the market shorted them. So you have to understand what the whales are trying to do based on a 3-day chart, based on a weekly chart, based on a monthly chart. Higher the time frame, higher the value. Now think about it. If you think some of these assets are here now and it's about to burst through the skies, let me ask you a question. Do you follow the momentum or do you go against the momentum? The market is clearly arguing some positions, and I think it is time for you to understand that and get positioned in that direction. So if you want to join the family, use the link in the description. Be a part of the SI family. Make sure you don't go on the other side of the equation and get slaughtered. Now, back into the market. If you're looking at Bitcoin, the monthly is still going up. It's looking good. When you go on a weekly chart, that's where it's like, okay, it's a little bit up, a little bit down. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm trying to make a decision. So you're like, okay, let me zoom in to see what is the decision as of now, because the only thing which you can do is to collect all the data till this point and make the best decision based on that. The higher the time frame, the better the results will be. Now, Bitcoin is already showing you there is a 3-day negative divergence, a daily showing you I'm trying to break to the downside. So if you follow the sentiment, you already know which direction you should be following. Fine. Now watch this. On a daily, you currently broke below this region, the territory of 105,500, and closed the daily candle there. On a 3-day chart, you had this level, the 105, 106, which was broken. And then the candle came down and closed near 104,300. So the negative divergence is confirmed. Anyone who exited when the price of, say, for example, Doge was in here somewhere around 0.19, 0.2, close to their break even, did good. Now, what is the real problem here? When you put them on different time horizons and analyze them, you're like, okay, fine. There is something coming in. A daily showing me a bullish divergence. Good. Is the 3-day showing you that? No. Is the weekly showing you that? So the decision should be made very clearly. Why? The trouble in here comes when the weekly MACD says, I'm going to cross to the upside, but I'm not going to cross. That is the trouble. Initially, it told you, I'm about to cross back to the upside, but then it crossed back to the downside. In the negative territory. It's not in the positive side of the equation. It's in the negative territory. Now, go back in history and see where this happened before. That is what I want you to understand. If the exact same thing happened in the history before, okay, let's follow it. You had a drop, you came down, you tried to bounce, you got rejected at the moving average, yeah? Now, at the same time, the MACD crossed to the upside, but immediately went back crossing to the downside. Now you know what I meant. That was a significant drop. Now, there was a lot of different factors playing out in the market back then. It was Terra Luna, was a lot of bullshit rubbishness. This time around, I don't know which exchange is going to go bankrupt. I don't know which wallet provider is going to go bankrupt. I don't know which one is going to turn upside down with that far Billy. But right now, it kind of argues if you're on the buy side of the market, be very cautious. When all the other hypers give you the bull market till the end of this year narrative, be very cautious and careful that who you really listen to, because if you don't, the market may actually come out and say, okay, you decided to do this, so the consequences comes with it. So if you are willing to take on the risk, I want you to look at the macro on the total alt market if you are in the alt market cycle. We were holding on to the moving average, but we are now breaking below that moving average. So I want you to focus on something. When you really hold on to the moving average and then break the moving average, how low do you actually go? We did this last time and we kind of got close to the bottom. Yeah, not the absolute bottom. It went even deeper. But watch, that was a 24% drop in the altcoins, not individual coins. Yeah, the average market. Here it was what? 25% drop. Okay, now we get base idea. Here you went 21%. So you kind of have somewhere around 20 to 24% drop at the best. Now, what's the worst case scenario? You went above the moving average, tried to break it, just like this region, and you got rejected. You're now below the moving average. I wanted to see that going up. Wow. But if that's slapping me saying decide now, I'm like, oh, I'm deciding right now. I don't want to ride it like this to the downside. So hopefully you're not going to watch a 65-70% drop to this point. But if it does, those who are shorting, they'll be really happy, won't they? Yeah. But say the price drops only 25%, it comes down to this bottom and says, oh, no, I'm going bullish. Good. You can rejoin the market, avoiding what? A 35% drop in that individual asset. But what should coincide with that? Bitcoin should also show you a bullish divergence after a 25-30% drop. So if we put that Bitcoin coming back down to 75,000 and showing you any bullish divergence, oh God, maybe Bitcoin will have a bounce, come back up to 100, and alts may do good. But right now you don't know that. Yeah. If it goes for this kind of a panic, it's going to drop 50% just in 1 month. That's going to be heavy. That's going to be bad. That's going to be very hard. So how do you analyze that? You put things into narrative. You put things easily onto a higher time frame structure. So easy path is to put the monthly chart and note where did that panic event come. Yeah, if you understand that, this is that candle just before the panic. Just before the panic. Okay, good. Now you put this. What do you see? You're flirting with the moving average and then boom, you give up the moving average. So if we do that in here in next 10-15 days, ooh, that is going to be what? A drop like this. Cool, fine. Where was the buying strength at that point when you were about to give up? Now let me be accurate here. Okay, just a little bit about here. Ooh, that's almost close to where you are now. So if you give up that level, which is 50 on the monthly, it's going to be nuked. I don't know why. I don't want to see getting nuked, but I know there is something coming in. I don't know why. But if you are about to wick to the downside like this and make a bottom, oh, I'm all in to go back in here. But unless there is a weekly bullish divergence, we should not be doing that based on emotions. That should be kept out. That should be kept out. Now, that's just one asset, which is Doge. Now, pick up XRP. A lot of people are talking about XRP going to $3, $10, $15. Now, My question is, I would honestly love to see that asset doing good, but unless there is a confirmation, why should I go back into that asset? If you bought the asset back in this region, ooh, that's a great one. Now, when it did a 10x move to the upside and you sold here, why would you buy back without a confirmation of it going bullish? Yeah. There is nothing wrong in waiting to get a bullish sign before you re-enter the market. Because if the history rhymes or repeats and you break like this, or you can buy back here, why buy back it here? I did the exact same mistake back in the day buying it here after selling at the top. Yes, that was a great trade, but I could have done better. Yeah, with the bullish divergence, I could have gone back in. Now, if that's about to repeat, why go in now? Because the long-term trend line suggests you should have a lot more patience. Now, yes, people would turn angry, people would be, emotions would come in. But when we reach there, I don't know how long we're going to take, but when we do reach there, a lot of you would ask, shit, what can we do now? There's nothing you can do at that point if you don't act now, because what you will see in your portfolio is that the assets are being shot dead. Yeah. So if you don't bite the bullet at this point with 10, 15, 20% loss, you may have to ride it down another 70%. So that's like 90% loss in your portfolio. If you are willing to do that, you're strong, man. I'm weak. I'm very weak. I cannot do that. My boy is just 5 years old and I'm not willing to ride this thing down 90%. So I'm out. Yeah. And I'm short in an asset and I'm looking to short another asset soon because I think the market is headed that way and I'm going to play the safe game. Now, if you are in the total crypto market and you're observing this, what some of these assets? I want your attention here. Do I want to see this going up? Yes, I really wanted to. Why? Because this one candle was holding on to what? 3 candles of downside. That usually is bullish, but then it immediately gave up that territory. That means you can come back down to this region. Now, it's still in a bull market and accumulation even at that point, but what is the takeaway? That shit can even drop another 50, 60%. Do you want to buy back after 60% drop? Or you want to buy back right now and ride it 60% down, dollar cost average, and then re-enter? It's completely up to you, but take all these points into consideration because in 3 to 6 months' time, when someone comes out and say, oh shit, that was a great opportunity. I was in the market at that time. I missed it. If this was you in 2021, this was you in 2017, why repeat the exact same thing? Now, that's all I want to tell you, but I want to also add on, if you're in this family, you are literally going through each and everything which is against what others are feeding you, and that's why 95% of people lose their money. Now, when I say this, you have to understand one thing. Credibility comes from the previous calls. You look at last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, you go back all the way and you see why 1,700 plus members are there. When we started this game in this bull market, we were close to 400 members. Here we are, we have 1,700 plus members and still coming in. Yeah, when one goes, 2 comes in right now because some think, oh no, the market is about to go back up. This guy lost his mind. But in 3 months' time, there won't be any spots left because most of them are going to be, most of them are going to be sold out because it's already sold out in a lot of these territories. And if you see all the ideas, you know where you can jump in, how many slots are left. Some has only 1, some has 3 or 4. So if you enter this limited period opportunity for the limited number of slots, you're going to do better. If you didn't hit that like button, please do that for me.